Welcome back to my channel, Transformation Time with Lily, TTW Lily. Okay, I'm going to pull one card. I'm going to let it fly out as an oracle card. This message is for my beautiful Leos. Um, we're going to just save it for the end after I'm done with your reading. It should complete the reading, and what I have found is that it summarizes the reading itself. So, okay, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to put it to the side. And at the end of your reading, I'll go ahead and pause and read what the card's significant, what the significance of the card. All right, let's go ahead and see what we have going on for you today, my beautiful Leo. I hope that you are doing well. You are abundantly blessed. And you're coming in and you're going out. And you're above and below, from within to without. All right, let's start this reading now. Let's go ahead and shuffle. So if this is your first time to my channel, and it probably is, I just want to let you know that I see things, I hear things, and I feel things. And what I see that comes through my mind is like a story. What I get from this reading is like a story. So the things that I see, I share everything. Everything. I share everything here. So don't, but I come from a place of love and a place of appreciation. I'm so glad that you're here. Leo, the first card out, I'm going to get turned over and I'm going to show it to you. It's the Five of Pentacles. I'm just going to lay the spread now. And once I'm done laying the spread, we'll dive right into it. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Wounded Warrior. So you are fighting, for another day. You are, you've been through some things here. And it feels to me with the Five of Pentacles is that, what comes to mind here for me is, generally this reading is a reading that shows that that feels like you've been left out in the cold. But I look at what I feel, what am I getting from this? And the general feeling that I'm getting here is that you're not asking for help. Yeah, you're definitely wanting to trek it alone. If you do have children, and you're feeling like you're yeah, I call the Five of Pentacles my not enoughing card. I can't do enough. I can't have enough. I'm just not enough, right? And that is a mindset in the position, wow, in the position of your challenge with the Five of Swords is heartbreak with the Three of Swords. Okay, this is air energy. So these are real thoughts that you're having um, and can make you feel like you've lost your confidence, right? That you don't have anybody to call on. That's what I'm getting here with the challenge being the Three of Swords. You feel isolated and alone, and you maybe even have a child. So at the basis of the situation, we have the High Priestess. And that being at the basis of the situation, what you want to begin to do is take some time for yourself and meditate, because this is a very spiritual card. And what I mean by spiritual card is the universe is always communicating with us, just like we're always communicating with the universe. How does the universe understand what we're saying? Not through our words, but our energy. So this is a card that really does show me that you do have a connection. This is also the major arcana for Pisces. And it is showing me that you are being given direction. You are being talked to. You do have a sense of intuition on what you should be doing. But I feel that whatever it is that you should be doing is is asking for help. That's what I'm feeling here. Like there is a feeling that I'm getting here that you're creating, right? The isolation. You're creating the non-communication. In the past, you had the Knight of Cups, there may have been some promises here. I don't know, like this could be because this is, cups energy. I have pentacles here at the crowning of the situation, the two of pentacles where you're juggling situation. So, this could be a work situation, and it could also very well be a love situation, where, you were made an offer of some sort here in the past. And it's not a grand offer, right? Because it is a night, but there feels to me like there was some sort of offer in the past, and what you're kind of doing right now is going in a cycle. You're kind of like living repetitively, in a cycle of doing the same thing and expecting different results. And this is why you may be feeling, this way, the Five of Pentacles with the Three of Swords. You may be feeling like you don't really have anywhere to turn, anywhere to go, that your resources are kind of limited here. In the position of your near future, though, is you're going to be moving very quickly with the Chariot. So the Chariot is showing me that whatever this situation is that you're going through, whether it's financial, whether it is in love, you're going to be moving past it very quickly in the near future. Because I really feel like it's a lot. Like you have to kind of like begin to, kind of pull yourself up by your bootstraps is kind of the feeling that I'm getting here. And the feeling that I'm getting here is you're kind of like sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, right? You're tired of dragging around, because I could also equate this to your inner child, right? That needs some, you're dragging around your inner child in all in all the places and all the things that you're doing, and your inner child is basically saying, help me, just slow down and listen to me. And so when we don't slow down, when we don't listen to our inner being, right? And we don't create that connection and that awareness in our in the different aspects of ourselves, um, we lose the connection to source energy. We lose the connection to infinite intelligence, the information that wants to, we can't hear it. And that's what's at the basis of the situation. At the basis of the situation, you're asking some questions. You're looking for direction, and it wants to come in through you, but you're in the duality of things, right? And the duality of things is you're either in the negative or in the positive. And what you're showing me here, what I'm feeling here from this, is that you're very much in the negative. Like, all of the outcomes that come to mind are negative. There's really nothing, you hope, right, that there's something positive. But what you're seeing, what you're manifesting is not meeting you, and it's not coming up to greet you the way that you're expecting it to. Now, that's going to start to move, like I said, and you definitely are going to get fair and balanced. This is the King of Sword in the position of what you cannot see. And this is very fair and balanced. Like I said, very fair and balanced, is the King of Swords. And that's an energy, and it could even be a person, who's here to guide you, because that could be, a therapist, it could be a coach, it could be a lawyer, it could be any number of, very analytical thinkers. Someone is going to come in and basically show you the way. And, it certainly does feel like it is, because here is the Emperor, and it's in the position of what you cannot see that's coming towards you. So, the Emperor is an energy of delegation, like, right? Because that's what the Emperor is. He's old and he's wise, and he's lived a few lives, and he is now the Emperor, right? He oversees all of the kings. And so, with that being said, there is somebody here in that's coming towards you that you cannot see, that has the characteristics of someone who is very settled. That's the first thing that came to mind. And what I mean is somebody who's really grounded. Okay. Now, this person is never going to tell you what you want to hear. This could be a financial advisor. This could be, this could be any number of things, professions, because it is an emperor. But he's not going to tell you what you want to hear. The emperor's always going to tell you what you need to hear, and you're always not always going to like the way that the emperor paints the picture. So, in the position of what you cannot see, that's in your hopes and your fears, is the this beautiful energy of the Four of Wands, which is the energy that I was feeling here with the Emperor, and that is stability. There is a sense of stability with this person. Like this person's been around the block, and there's some advice I feel that's going to be given to you. That could be a grandparent, right? It could be a parent, depending on how old you are. This is someone who's old and wise, that sees you, like in your situation, and is not they're not going to pull any punches, is what I feel here. They're going to really kind of begin to give you some guidance that is well needed, to create the stability, because that's what you're wanting here. That's the feeling that I'm getting here with this. In the hopes and the fears, the Four of Wands is about stability. It's about, um, creating, because this is also about celebrations, but this is, the way that I'm feeling this reading here is stability for you. So it could be a home. It could be a new job. It could be the hope is, and the fear is that you're not going to have what it is that you're wanting for. Now, let me, reiterate this. My readings are come to fruition pretty quickly. So I want to say that within the next week to 3 weeks, you're going to see some forward momentum happening in your world in regards to, the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. These are, emotions and things that are really happening to you in real time. Why do I say that? Because the coins are earth energy. So it does have to do with time. And so I want you to be very cautious and not expect something to come through the way that you're expecting it. But stay in an attitude of gratitude and hopefulness, right? That you don't know how it's going to unfold, but it's really not your problem. Your problem is allowing it to unfold. And that's with the high priestess. So, allow yourself, and what I would recommend here, right? What the advice that I would give here is to, if you don't meditate, listen, just sit, close your eyes, and just count 1 through 4. 1 breath in, 2 breath out, 3 breath in, 4 breath out. And do that just until your body is completely settled. Okay. And you're still, and you're now balancing your energy out. So I'm going to give you the fastest way to understand how to balance yourself, because this is what I think that you need to bring yourself into balance, right? You have done enough. It feels to me like you have done enough, and you're still going, and you're not seeing the results that you're expecting. So the way that we maintain balance is we do. We do. Then we rest. We take a rest from all the doing. Then we reflect so that we know what to do next, right? So that is the process of bringing this balance into your world. Okay. Again, I do strongly feel, I'm going to go ahead and clarify that though. I do strongly feel that there is somebody that's going to come in to really offer some advice and some help, somebody who is older than you. Like I said, it could be a parent, it could be a grandparent. And all you really have to do is ask, because that's what I'm seeing here. Like you don't want to ask for help, and your inner child is like, I'm so unstable, I'm so insecure, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to cry. And that's your inner child, because of a story, a narrative that's been playing out in your world forever. So let's see here. We get the Temperance card and we get the Two of Pentacles again. Okay. And that was to clarify this Emperor energy. Again, right? The Temperance card, is about delays. It's about bringing things in from the ethereal world and into our reality, right? So, that's Archangel Gabriel taking those 2 cups, bringing them to perfection. Okay. And it's, they have one foot in the water and one foot on land. And so that is the trek between the ethereal world and our world. And so the universe is really orchestrating things behind the scenes. You cannot see what is happening, but there is something that is happening for the positive. The work for you right now is to get out of the, because I feel that, right? I feel like there's a little bit of a mind rut, right? Where you're just playing the same story all over again in your mind and you're wondering when it's going to change. And to be honest with you, the only time that it's going to change is going to be when you choose for it to change, when you start doing things differently. And the reason I say that is because you have two. I have two decks here, one for clarifying and one for, and they're showing me the same thing. You have the two of pentacles here, which is you're juggling situations and you're living in a cycle. You're living in, I don't want to say that you're living in a rabbit hole or going down a rabbit hole, but you certainly are on the hamster wheel. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, and nothing is happening. So when you take action, be sure that you're taking action after you've reflected, because you will be taking action. There is going to be forward movement here for you in the near future. And my near future is going to be probably within the next week. You're going to start to see forward momentum. And now you're probably asking, hey, Lil, I don't know what you're talking about. I know. But here's the thing. The thing is that there's a level of trust that you're being asked to consider in this journey. There's a level of trust. Like, we're so fixated on what's happening out there that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to realize, right? We don't even get to realize that what's happening out there in our world, right, is just a reflection back at us of what's happening within us. So if you're, looking at the world, if you're looking at your work, if you're looking at your living situation and you're looking at it as a destabilizing situation, that is just reflecting back at you what it is that you're feeling inside of yourself. And so you want to create, some space for yourself to take some time to be with yourself so that you can begin to, through meditation and journaling, I would definitely say journaling, get all of the anxiety, all of the frustration, all of it out. I think that, um, if I'll send you a clearing exercise. I want to say, I can, if you send me your email, I don't like to do that on here, but I'm trying to figure out what's the best way for me to be able to send you my clearing exercise, and let me think about that. But the outcome in this situation is going to be the Queen of Pentacles. Maybe I'll just post it on this video so you can just get the document. It's called Making Space. So, and this is what you're, at the outcome, this is the possible outcome, which is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is very similar to the Empress. Even though it's earth energy, it's very similar to the Empress, where you're nurturing yourself first, right? Like the Queen of Pentacles knows that if she doesn't take care of herself, if she doesn't nurture herself, if she doesn't give herself proper nutrition and exercise and all of those wonderful things, that nothing else around her is going to work. Like, it's not going to work because she's it. She's the reason why the wheels are turning in her world, and that's not from a point of view of being egotistical. It's from a point of view of understanding, your power and what you're able to do with your power. So I'm going to go ahead. The card that came out for you is the Dark Mysteries. Enter the chamber of the Dark Goddess. Don't worry about that, but I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now, and I'm going to go ahead and read what this card signifies and how it ties this reading together for you. So give me one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, great. We're back. This is from my Isis Oracle deck. This is what the deck looks like. This is the case. Ooh, there we go. Isis Oracle. if you can read backwards. This is the book, and these are the cards. And this is your card that came through. And it says, the dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. The dark goddess calls you to hear her inner chamber, where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within you that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper intuition is now. When the dark goddess calls you, it is a life-changing experience. It's not always easy, but the rewards for those brave enough to answer her call and enter her inner chamber are tremendous indeed. The rewards are a life lived more fearlessly, the gift of loving and being just who you are in truth without having to impress or bow to another out of fear of rejection. It is more open and expansive way to live, and it attracts the bounty of the dark mother. Her gift of love, opportunity, peace, and prosperity, well-being, and wisdom. It takes a strong soul to go through this test and let the liberation it delivers. But you are ready. Dear initiate of the light, the dark goddess calls you to initiation when you've been working on your own shadows, bringing your whole self to light. During such time, we often need help, as shadow work can be uncomfortable, painful, or just quite difficult to understand, as we are working with unconscious material, trying to bring it into the light of our conscious awareness. Working with the shadow, the parts of us that we have deemed unlovable are the parts that seem to marvelous to actually be. All right, let me do that again. Working with the shadow, the parts of us that we have deemed unlovable, or the parts that seem too marvelous to actually be us, requires courage. The dark goddess will call you when your own shadow needs healing and integration, when something within is holding you back, when instead of acknowledging and bringing it to light and awareness, it could actually help you move forward. Often the shadow elements that need integration when the dark goddess is present is power in some form or other. It may be personal power, spiritual power, or your relationship to power that needs to change for you to blossom and for life and its gifts to manifest more abundantly for you. Becoming more powerful does not necessarily mean gaining more force. More often, for advanced souls, it actually means surrendering our will into alignment with greater forces of divine will. And I always say, my will, your will, what I always say is not my will, but thy will. So if that helps, not my will, but thy will. Allowing us to consciously participate in the flow of life, sensing the signs and nudges that lead us towards our greatest manifestation of soul this lifetime. Often when we are reclaiming our power and defining for ourselves what it is to be powerful, we are confronted with fears of loss, failure, abandonment, and rejection. It can be painful at times, but accepting and releasing the pain brings such deep relief and happiness to the self. It is good to confront these fears with a loving and firm approach. and be open to taking risks and growing anyway. This is what Isis, as the dark goddess, teaches us not to be afraid, to go into the dark places and the difficult feelings within. They may seem ugly at first, yet, if we allow ourselves to go there with some conscious awareness in place, we can realize that these parts of us just need love and acceptance. Those parts that we once reviled often blossom and turn into great assets in a more conscious, helpful version of ourselves. We need radical trust to do the inner work and take her initiation. The dark goddess will support and nurture you. Through her tests, she guides you to receive the gifts of more of yourself, your no longer your heart stake. I think I'm gonna- okay. No longer shackled in fear and hidden away, but ready to be in the world with brightness. Okay. This really does tie your reading together, as it does show. I'm sorry, I dropped one of your cards. As it really does show that you have been trying to do things alone. You've been trying to do them on your own. There is communication, as I stated before, there is community. This is the high priestess. This is the high priestess. So there is communication coming to you. You just feel like you're living on this, this treadmill, this cycle, and you're soon to break free from it, right? So I know that, the deck feels a little bit witchy, but there are some incantations in the book that are really helpful, and some rituals that are in the book that are really helpful also. So if you're wanting that, just go ahead and message me, and I'll go ahead and prepare an area where I can put that for you, so that you can get some guidance, right? Because this is really all about you taking the time to recognize yourself, because you are in the process. It feels to me like you are leveling up. And so things aren't working out for you the way that you had expected them to. And they're certainly not going to come around. Your life is not going to change the way that you think it is. It's going to change in a much bigger way if you give yourself the opportunity to surrender. Surrender to what the universe, what God, infinite intelligence, however you call um, our divine light, however you communicate with that. This is not a prayer, right, of supplication. This is not anywhere around here. It's begging. I don't feel that at all. What it is a gratitude for everything that you've experienced, everything that you're experiencing, and everything that you are getting ready to experience, right? Because one of the main things that I said here is, this inner child work. Really paying attention to your inner child, to your inner self, coming into awareness, right? Because the way that things go, and I say this all the time, is that our mind is everything. It creates everything that is happening in our world, right? And it's based on a program that was instilled in us when we were from 0 to 7. And so when we start to break out of that paradigm, when we start to break out or try to create something different because it just doesn't work anymore, it's hard. So we have to create new routines, new rituals. But more importantly than all of that, right, is to surrender without expectation. I'm not surrendering because I'm expecting anything. I'm surrendering because I know that once I surrender, the universe starts to work on my behalf. So it may take you a little while, and this card's showing up, but with the Emperor here, there may be some, I don't know, I want to say stubborn energy around you. Um, but kind of even that energy where you want to be able to surrender it, right? And give the universe the time that it needs to do the work in you. And the way that you're going to know when you're supposed to take action is after you're done doing, you're resting, you're reflecting to know what to do next. And that information will come through if you give yourself time to rest and reflect. All right, my beautiful Leos, I love you. Thank you for being with me here today. If you're wanting, the rituals, I can just, let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to get them to you. Okay. Um, all right. Until the next time, I'll be back within the next week. I'll talk to you soon.